Hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus again. I would like to think of this post as being hands off, meaning that I've come to the point where I realize that I'm wasting my time, that what I have done is excellent, and it is excellent and will always remain excellent, and I can't improve on it, so maybe there's something else that could take place. As spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people, I've considered a few things that perhaps I might have received that you haven't. One is that I have a knowledge of God. There's no doubt God exists, meaning that the most powerful existence that I honor is God. It's not mankind. And because I have a connection with God, I have a responsibility from God to reflect to the rest of humanity that I have contact with in words or deeds, to reflect the knowledge that I have about God to them, because they do not. And the evidence that they do not is in the way that they live. When it comes to me, ladies and gentlemen, I have the knowledge of what is important when you talk about living a satisfied life. You hear me talk about living a satisfied life, it's not the same thing that prosperity preachers preach. A satisfied life, my friends, is more than that. A satisfied life is when your needs and your wants and your desires met at your call. It's when you can live in peace, be prosperous and free and happy and joyous and live your dreams. Your needs, your wants, food, clothing, shelter, education, and anything that's made by the hands of man belong to you. There's no need for any of the other stuff, lying and all that other stuff. No. So I know that. I know how that happens. You don't. I got that information from the invisible power that you can't see, that I can't see, but can deal with spiritually. And I have spent maybe some 40 years giving that information to you. And today we have, as far as I can tell, one of the most evil individuals on the face of the earth in America, exposing who America is and how corrupt America is. Now, when I say corrupt, I'm not trying to say America is more corrupt than any other nation. All nations got their place in the corruption. I'm just saying what you think about America, Americans, you got it wrong. You are as corrupt as you can be. And as far as this thing about your political season, I said I was going to stop talking about it, because you can only have the kind of life, a satisfied life, when you're under the guidance of God. No other way. No Republican can guide you there. No Democrat can guide you there. They can take you a whole bunch of places. They can take you to different levels of hell, but they cannot, my friend, take you to that satisfied life. That only comes from God. And when you hear people out there talking about some crazy stuff happening in Ohio, people eating ducks and dogs, and you should be afraid enough to go get your guns and go and threaten the whole town, the whole population in that town, bombing buildings and ready to blow up hospitals and schools and stuff to save the ducks. I guess that's what it's for. But it tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that is nothing but demonic. That's totally from the pit of hell. Everybody who sees that knows that's from the pit of hell. And yet those who are backing it don't see it as being from the pit of hell. They think it's being willing to stand up for what they believe in. And look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Who are we today to look at these people, look at these acts, and condemn these people? These people are the fruit of their environment. What you see them do is what they grew up with. It is what they all are about. It is what they know. If you're going to blame somebody, you might want to blame their families, but what good would that do? For their family are the one that taught that to them. Then you might want to blame the times. Well, what good would that do? It was the time before them that taught that. So it is all a separation from God. And any explanation you try to fit, any argument you give, you can bet your last money somebody else can give a totally different excuse and argue it just as deep as you can argue the one you argue. Except one thing, you cannot argue with the truth. Only the truth will work. Only the truth will satisfy you after you use it. So, I just feel that there's no need of me talking anymore. People love to listen to Donald Trump. They don't want to hear what God said. Nah, Donald Trump is their God. And the people in the church, they don't want to listen to God. They're listening to a book that has had so many translations, a book that has gone through so many hands, and a book that they would stake their dead blasted life on without even questioning. Now, I ask all of you who follow the book, why in the world do you think God, the God that is in this book, why do you think that God can deal with all those people before us, and all of a sudden decide, cut it off, tell the people then in the future what we say, but he's not able to deal with them anymore? What makes you think that? What makes you agree with that? If God ever talked with one person and never talked to you, and you fall short, then God is responsible for that, not you. God is no fool. God knows what God is doing. I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you have God and know God for yourself, you're in trouble. Now, you might look upon somebody, if your heart is pure, that's walking with God, and ride on up that, but you ain't going all the way. You can't get in there unless you qualify. You can't get in there unless you ready. Now, I'm going to tell you that. And if you believe anything else, no wonder Satan got you in the beginning. Let me see if there's one more thing I might want to say before I close out here. Oh yeah, I want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that this happiness that everybody seeks, this satisfied life that everybody seeks, you won't get it with money. Ask the people who got money and ask them if they have a satisfied life. Nope, money won't do it. Those of you who stick with your race, just you and your race can do it, or your group, or your denomination. And have you done it? And really, what is it you're trying to do? I can say this though, you haven't done it and you can't do it. Racism won't do it. Nothing will do it but God. Now, you say, Eddie, are you happy? Let me tell you this. God has blessed me even in this hell. God has blessed me even in this hell. What does that basically mean? It means that I have had a chance to live in the midst of all of this hell. And I have nothing. I have nothing. Nothing. But I still know that the answer is God. You say, well, why are you sticking with God? I'm gonna ask you, I'll tell you plain. It's you. We can't even talk. We can't even laugh and have fun because I'm over here and you over yonder. So I'm trying to have a loving situation and the other trying to scam. You say, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, how it's done. If you walking right, your conversation is different than the man who walking crooked. And about the same conversation. Well, anything else? Oh, and those of you who think you got it going on, you're following a fake God. A fake God. You see, the real God requires that you be real. And living in hell, before you can continue to live in hell being real, the devil got something to say about that. And usually it means you fall in the line of Dr. Martin Luther King. You fall in the line of Jesus. You fall in the line, and I'm not putting Jesus behind Martin Luther King. It's just that I know you might have heard and understand Martin Luther King. When you come down to Jesus, you don't even believe in that. Malcolm X. I saw a movie, read a book about a guy named Gandhi over in India. That joker was something else. And I've read a few stories about people who stood up against the system. And in order to stand up against the system, you got to know the truth. You got to know the truth. You can't believe the truth. You can start out believing, but until you walk into the knowledge, you're not going to be able to do what is required. You got to know the truth, and you got to walk according to the truth. The reason that the truth is so apparently so threatening down here is because people don't know the truth. Black people don't know the truth. They just know what they've been passed down to. White folks don't know the truth. And all other people in between, they don't know the truth. All you got to do is look around you. And then you might as well be satisfied that all of us are absent the knowledge of truth. And for those of us who say we got it, we like the evidence. We just do. But in order for us to find what we all want, we have to hook up and have a relationship with God. And God will be our guidance. That doesn't mean every time we want to do something, we got to get on our knees and pray and ask God. No, we got a system set up where we are one in the spirit to one another. We know what we don't now. We just doing whatever will give us some money. But in the spiritual world, walking in these bodies, led by the Spirit, we know what's going on. And it's smart, very smart. And smarter than Donald Trump, too. Okay, is anything else that probably went and if I didn't say it, I want to say it again. If I didn't say it, I want to say it. And if I've said it before, I want to say it again. The problem with America is that she has a fake God. A fake God. Now you interpret that. Goodbye.